Tigers are the largest species of big cats in the world, reaching up to 13 feet in length and up to 660 pounds. They prefer to hunt at nighttime, preying on a wide variety of animals like deer, wild pigs, and even porcupines, and there are less than 3,000 left in the wild today. But when you look at a tiger, you won't see any of these things. The first thing you'll likely notice about it is its fur. Tigers have dark brown or black stripes going horizontally across the length of their bodies over an orange coat, as I'm sure you already know. But then there are white tigers. You'll see them in zoos, in traveling circuses, and circling online in selfies next to big smiling faces. But behind every single one of those instances has a history of abuse and mistreatment. A common misconception about white tigers is that they are a subspecies of normal tigers, but this is untrue. There are 9 subspecies of tiger: Amur, Bengal, Indo-Chinese, Malayan, South China, and Sumatran tigers. Then there are 3 extinct species of tigers: the Bali, Caspian, and Javan. The one thing all these tigers have in common, though, is that they're all orange. The real truth behind the white tigers starts in India in 1951, where Martan Singh, the king of nearby Rewa, is exploring the wild land nearby on a hunting trip. This is where he finds a small white tiger cub. He names the male Mohan, which translates to enchanting or charming, and it's lucky for Mohan that he was found by humans when he was. Without his orange coat, in the wild, Mohan would have likely died. He would have had a much harder time camouflaging into his environments and trying to hunt prey. A normal tiger's coat makes it easy to hide in the grass and trees. A white tiger cub, however, could easily be spotted by predators and prey alike. Well, when Mohan was brought back with his capture, one thing led to another, and now Mohan is believed to be the ancestor to every single white tiger alive in the United States today. This is a result of centuries of inbreeding in order to carry down the genetic mutation of white fur, which is called leucism. Leucism is a gene in tigers that inhibits the production of the yellow and orange pigments in the tiger's fur. This separates leucism from albinism because albinism inhibits the production of all pigmentation. That's why albino tigers are born without their distinctive dark brown or black stripes, and they have blue eyes. Leucism is also a recessive gene. A recessive gene is a gene that has its effects overridden when a dominant gene is present. Think of it like a toupee. You can see a toupee all fine and dandy, but as soon as a dominant gene comes around, like a baseball cap, that toupee gets covered up. Well, a newborn tiger gets 2 versions of each gene, or 2 alleles, from each of their parents. Because leucism is recessive, both of these alleles have to carry leucism in order for the cub to be born as a white tiger. Because if one of the alleles doesn't have leucism and one does, the allele with leucism is masked by the other allele, and the baby cub is still born orange. This is where the inbreeding comes into play. Remember, every single white tiger in the United States today is likely a descendant from the same male. This crazy amount of inbreeding is responsible, in part, for the staggering 50% of all white tigers dying as cubs before they grow up due to complications. Half of all white tiger cubs die before reaching adulthood. This is an absurd number, and especially when compared to the 90 to 95% of normal cubs surviving to adulthood when they are born in captivity. The white tiger cubs experience many medical issues that cause their early death, like spinal disease, defective organs, hip dysplasia, vascular ring anomaly, shortened tendons, crooked back, cleft palate, clubfoot, vision impairment, and mental impairment, and more. And even the cubs who are lucky enough to survive into adulthood are still plagued with these same difficulties throughout their lives. This contributes to the fact that, on average, white tigers die 10 years earlier than normal tigers, with normal tigers in captivity living from 20 to 25 years, and white tigers commonly dying at only 12 years old. This is Charlotta. She was bred into the pet trade in the spring of 2022. Her owner, who was not only abusive and irresponsible, was also apparently dumber than a bag of rocks because he thought it would be a good idea to post about her on social media. Luckily, Charlotta was confiscated by authorities and brought to the Holiday Zoo in January of 2023 for her own safety. This is where veterinarians gave Charlotta a checkup and found out she had crossed eyes and poor vision because of it, but otherwise was in pretty good health. Charlotta now lives at the Terre Wild Animal Sanctuary. This story is truly touching, but unfortunately not unique. Sierra was a white tiger born in Ohio in the year 2000. She was born to an abusive backyard breeder who exploited Sierra and a few other tigers and lions by letting the public come take photos with them to make money. These animals had a terrible quality of life and were chained down to platforms and declawed. Declawing was a medical procedure that was once used on domesticated house cats before it was outlawed for being too cruel to them, not to mention wild animals. This mistreatment was all before Sierra was luckily rescued and the breeder was shut down for good. Then there's also the story of the Tiger Temple in Thailand. It claimed to be a sanctuary for the animals, and yet it still allowed visitors to bottle feed, pet, and take selfies with these wild animals. The Tiger Temple was busted a few years ago when an entire freezer of dead baby tiger cubs were discovered. 40 baby tigers were found to be dead in total, with 30 of the bottles being preserved in formaldehyde. After Thai wildlife authorities took photographic evidence of the bodies, the temple even tried to deny knowledge of it. But this couldn't save the temple, and they were forced to hand all of the remaining animals over to the Department of National Wild Parks, Plants, and Wildlife, which included over 137 tigers. I think something that's easy to forget while hearing all of this is that these are wild animals, and wild animals surprisingly tend to act like wild animals too. In 2005, a 17-year-old girl was posing with a tiger for her graduation photo when she was attacked and killed. This happened at the Lost Creek Animal Sanctuary in Kansas. In 2009, a white tiger killed one of its handlers at Zion Lion Park. In 2003, a man named Antoine Yates was bitten by his pet tiger and sent to the hospital. He lived, and his pet tiger was sent to an animal sanctuary in Ohio. There are less than 4,000 tigers left in the wild, making tigers an endangered species globally. And yet, there are more than 5,000 tigers owned by private facilities or being kept as pets in the United States alone. Remember to never support businesses who exploit their animals, and always try to do a little extra research to make sure that the zoo or animal sanctuary you're visiting is treating its animals right. If something seems wrong, if something seems iffy, or if something just doesn't quite add up, that's probably because it is and it doesn't. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment because I'm brand new to YouTube, so it really does help me out. We all have to start somewhere, and I do appreciate it. But bye now.